water, and next minute the water is stuck
Yes.
right there.
Yeah.
Well, Jesus, I'm 45. I only just worked out 18 months ago that if I turn myself upside down on the lounge, the water just falls out. Like it falls from that point up my throat a bit. I turn myself, it takes about 30 seconds. And
Does
it's
it taste
gone
like-
completely. No. It's just like a couple of drops of water that's sitting on that little thing and making you cough and do all sorts of weird.
So it's not like when you have
I'm ignoring my body. I'm just kind of going, if I cough, if I do this for the next 20 minutes. But why did it take me this entire... to turn upside down? Because it's just water. It's something sitting there. Gravity is holding it down. Dr. Drew. Nicholas, mate. Put it there, champ.
Great.
Yeah, I really hope you come. Yeah, good. Hey, see that?
That was
see
it.
that?
He did the whole...
Yeah.
The ninja catch.
I've actually noticed you in all your movements. It's probably through years of doing it. Whenever you speak, your hand has this particular flick.
this little gesture.
So have you ever been told that?
No, but I'm going to be watching it all the time now.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
And, mate, I hope you come back.
Yeah, I'd love to come back and have a chat. This is great.
Yeah, because there's a million more things we could talk about.
Yeah.
It's almost been 2 hours now.
Yeah, that's
shit,
crazy,
really?
isn't it?
Yeah. So, mate, where do we find you? Where do we book in and what do we do?
Mate, for my acupuncture, you can go to the Australian Centre of Natural Medicine, which is the little clinic in behind Flannery's at Miami. So if you know where Miami High School is, the Flannery's is across the road. We're actually attached to that drive-through section behind Flannery's there. The clinic's pretty well signed.
Yeah.
I also have a little home studio I work from up in Coomera. You can get in touch with me on my Facebook. Now, my Facebook is called QiFit, but it's got the that
Is it
strange
QI?
spelling QI,
Okay.
FIT.
Yeah.
I actually look at it now and go, why did I call that? No one knows what chi is. It's stupid. But
I thought it was key.
Yeah,
like
Qui.
key.
Yeah.
Chinese pronounce it chi.
Yeah.
The Japanese say ki.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, I get...
And what do Aussies say?
What's that say? QiFit on Facebook. And for my classes with the Taiji, basically I do Tuesday, Thursday nights out of that clinic. We just train in that undercover section. Nice big open space where you can swing your arms around. It's just quite a nice little practical group of a few of us. We get there and we
Any
do our
level of
thing.
fitness?
Any level of fitness.
Yeah.
Any level of fitness. I actually think you need to do quite a bit of Tai Chi before you get up to the level where you can do it for fitness.
Yeah.
But when you do get to that level, the way you can use it's actually superb. So I train out of there Tuesday, Thursday nights from about 6:15 till 8 o'clock. And that's all from that Miami address down there at Mrs. Flannery's. So
Wow.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Because we asked Fabio the same question, and I think everyone wants to know. Have you ever, not even recently, caught yourself in a situation where you needed to protect yourself, protect someone, do some self-defense? Do you have any sort of cool fight story?
All fight stories are cool. No.
Yeah.
No, they're not. But the one interesting thing, and this is, I was telling you before I was rehearsing all these things I was going to say, I don't like to talk about real fighting situations because it always makes you sound like you're trying to chest beat, and I don't like that so much. But the interesting thing about the progression of fights I had through my life was up till the last one I had where I dealt with it so effectively that I haven't had one afterwards. And there was a martial artist who does the Tong Long here on the Gold Coast, one of Malcolm Sue's boys. And we were having a conversation about martial arts one day, and Henry Sue. Henry Sue's definition of being a master in martial arts is when you don't revert back to old or useless skills. So if you do kung fu and you get in a fight and all of a sudden you start wailing punches like a pub brawler, you haven't really mastered the art. And I really like that definition. So what I see through my time is my different confrontations with people from being, young skater punk through to being a bit older was actually an evolution of maturity in how I dealt with it. To the last one, which was when I was down on Hedges Avenue New Year's Eve waiting for my girlfriend to turn up in a car, and I had it was quiet. I was pretty drunk, spliffs, having a bit of a party.
High five.
And a mate of mine's always telling me, don't do Kung Fu in public, don't do Kung Fu in public. People always want to go.
Yeah.
And so I was in a pretty happy state, and I was literally doing no movement. Nothing you'd see as martial arts or anything like that. But I suddenly had two guys standing in front of me demanding the glow band on my forehead. And I'm like, what? It's a glow band, you know, like, come on. And I caught a flash of something go past me that must have made me stabilise a little bit, but I got king hit.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and I remember turning around and I looked down on the ground, and the young kid who king hit me is sitting there looking at his fist, looking up at me, looking at his fist, looking up at me like, this guy should have gone down.
Yeah.
So I've kind of gone, a bit groggy-headed, turned around and looked at these two guys in front of me, and they were stepping in. And that's what I like about the Tai Chi that I do. There was no question. There was no preparation. I just hit first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd just been king hit. I'd been attacked. If I waited, these guys were bigger than me.
Yeah.
So I hit the first guy straight in the throat, and the second guy I just dropped, punched in the face. That's all I can remember about it. The guy hit in the throat went down, started coughing, and the other guy went down and got back up. We went toe-to-toe again, and he was the big guy. He was the and I have no idea what happened. All I know is that I didn't get hit and that I was skipping down through the cars afterwards getting prepared. He yelled out, go get weapons. 4 guys ran off and came back with sticks and plates. I ran.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
gee.
it was an unprovoked attack, and I managed to respond correctly, and I didn't question. I didn't have to think. And that's one of the things I
Yeah.
like about Taiji is I'm actually coming up to trying to run a few seminars series soon called The Inner Animal, to literally teach people how to get into contact with that aspect of themselves, because I think it has a beautiful balancing effect. We're told as a culture now, especially men, sit down, cross your legs, put your hands in your lap, be a good little boy and be spiritual. And it's like, no, hold on, I'm the fucking most dangerous creature on the fucking face of this freaking planet in this known universe. And I'm meant to be a good little boy or a good little person. And I think there's a lot of people who are probably struggling with trying to reconcile that. How do they deal with that natural, animalistic, level of violence that we have in ourselves? So that's what I like about the Tai Chi, and that's what I like about that event, is it slowly shows me that coming to grips with that allowed me to react correctly and then still have the mammalian capability to get out of there, to run and to deal with it. So that's kind of what I like about the Tai Chi. It's not necessarily teaching me to fight, it's just teaching me to respond correctly in the situation that I need to. Yeah, let my innate intelligence. I often say to people, our whole body is an immune system. We don't have an immune system. We are an immune system. Bad example, but if a tiger walks out of the bushes, the first line of defense is your arms and legs, right? You run like hell. So I believe through doing a lot of Taiji now and a lot of meditation with the martial arts, and look, natural fighters have this. But those that don't and need to learn and want to come into contact and have a greater understanding, it allows us to connect that natural protective response to the outside of our body and to when we need it. So that's my fight story. That's
excellent.
Yeah.
Was that okay?
Yeah, but isn't it sad how they'd already outnumbered you 2-1, and then they went and got more people?
No.
Alcohol and
oh my
who knows?
god!
I reckon they were along the Hedges Avenue.
That's supposed to be a nice area, though.
New Year's Eve, I think you get a lot of the Logan guys coming down.
The Logan boys.
with their back, and they just go shopping. There's all the rich kids
that's
walking
so
down there with their
sad.
mobile phones and their this and their that's in their backpack, and I was just someone.
The dude world is a funny world.
It is a funny
I was
world.
just sitting there by myself, looking like an idiot with a glow band on my head. I looked like a target.
I used to live in, just quickly, I lived in Surfers Paradise on the 3rd level of a building, and I saw so many fights and saw them because I lived beside a park. So I was third floor isn't very high, but it's high enough for you to peer down and see it happen. And just the amount of times you just saw guys just pick fights with one guy.
Yeah.
Just the amount of times it was really bizarre, like monkey behaviour, just drunk.
Yeah.
In packs, picking on people until someone reacted in a certain way, and then they'd have a fight, and then someone,
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a strange world.
It is a strange world.
But not as strange as bloody... I was at the school, right, this morning, and just hearing how, like... all these like parents going up to the office because their little daughters are having all these little mini wars with other girls. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, I had no idea that this all goes on.
Yeah.
So that sounds way worse. I'd rather cop a punch in the head and it be gone than like some endless like fight where she's a bitch and she's saying...
That's why women give each other eating disorders and guys just give each other blood noses.
I know.
Like,
that is so true,
it's
though.
a weird world, mate.
Yeah.
I love it. We'll put it there, dude. Yep.
Yep, great. Thank you so
Stoked
much.
you're here. We'll see you real soon.
Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by Koala Karma, the chill out drink. Sit back, relax.
And get some needles stuck in you. Maybe. Oh, no, move from the hip. From the hip?
Yeah.
From the bottom of your
Move
feet.
from the
Where do you
centre.
actually... From the centre. From the centre. Oh, hey, Google.
What is the origins of acupuncture?
On the website news-medical.net, they say, the theory and practice of acupuncture originated in China. It was first mentioned and recorded in documents dating a few hundred years before the Common Era. Earlier, instead of needles, sharpened stones and long sharp bones were used around 6000 BCE for acupuncture treatment.
Wow.
To read more, look for the link in your Google Home app.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Google. Good night.
See you later.
All right, over and out. Thanks, champion.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm getting dizzy spells. Are we
Still now.
recording? Are
Yep.
we recording?
Yep. Even
Just
now.
All night I've had dizzy. I reckon there's something in that koala karma.
No, there's not. What's anemia? People get anemic and get dizzy.
No, but I had a steak for lunch. I had a 250 gram rump steak for lunch today.
How'd you cook it? What, medium?
Medium rare. I didn't cook it. Someone else cooked it.
What sort of sauce on there?
Pepper gravy. With chips and salad.
Damn.
Yeah, it was good.
What was the place?
Varsity CBD.
Oh, I haven't been there for a while.
It's actually a lot different. I haven't been there. I reckon today would have been the first time in maybe 3 years since I've been there. It is so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Do you know what's interesting about Varsity CBD?
What?
In the Soho area?
Soho area.
You know what the Soho area is? Just down the street from there? Have you seen all those houses and businesses that are right on the road? Yeah, they have like an English feel where there's a door. Just down, they actually zoned it like Soho.
Which end of Lake Street are you talking?
Towards
the university
highway.
or towards... Oh, that way.
There's a little string, like 100 metres of buildings that if you go by there, they don't have a front yard at all. There's like the 6 metre back from the road.
Yeah.
And then a front door. Like,
Oh.
it's...
I've never taken any notice. I'll have a look.
Have a look.
Yeah.
Because what they've done, that they mean it when they go the CBD Varsity, they've actually tried to zone Robina as the future centre of the city.
Oh, I know. They've been saying that for 30 years.
But they've actually spent time zoning everything around it so that this is going to... The Rocket was the first of the high-rise. This is going to be where it's going to be.
But that's what they
Soho's
said,
that
no.
cool little bar area that isn't one yet.
But that's what they were saying 30 years ago when they first started developing Robina. They were saying
And it
that
was a
Robina
swamp.
was going to be the new hub of the Gold Coast.
I wish they'd name it differently, though.
Oh, it's because...
Robina.
Well, it's because the developer's son... No, I think the developer's name was Robin. And his son's name was Kerry. And so, like...
They like to drink Robina.
No, well, like, because Robina used to be... there used to be Robina and Kerrydale. Where that Robina Town Centre is, that used to all be Kerrydale.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then they changed that to Robina. It's like, even Varsity, like, I didn't realise what I thought was Stevens is now called Varsity Lakes. Varsity.
Okay. I like
Sound.
Varsity Lakes. That's kind of got a bit of... But Ribena, it just rolls off the Aussie tongue like
It's
Ribena.
like Ribena, the drink Ribena.
What would you call the city? Okay,
A s-
meeting.